We have some major breaking news. It has been confirmed that Cleetus McFarland will race in about 5 ARCA Menard Series races with Rette Jones Racing in 2026. What's going on, guys? This is Daniel, and welcome back to our video. As I just said a second ago, I had some pretty massive major breaking news this morning, as it has been confirmed that Cleetus McFarland will make select starts of Rette Jones Racing in the ARCA Menard Series in 2026. Earlier this morning, as reported by Joseph Strigley, on Sirius 7 NASCAR Radio, Cleetus McFarland says that he is going to run about 5 ARCA Menard Series events in 2026 with Rette Jones Racing, including at Daytona and Talladega Superspeedway. Joseph Strigley also reports earlier this morning, interesting from Cleetus McFarland, his mission with Gray Biffle was to one day compete in the Daytona 500. The back of my car says, "Be like Biff today," and I'm carrying our mission of getting to the Daytona 500. That's what we started with, so I gotta finish it. Before talking about that, I gotta really say, obviously we know that Gray Biffle and Cleetus McFarland had a fantastic and really good friendship over the last year or so, and Gray Biffle was, of course, a mentor to Cleetus McFarland. I gotta say, the decal they got on the back of Cleetus McFarland's car is absolutely beautiful and an amazing thing and fantastic thing that they're doing for Cleetus McFarland. Obviously, Cleetus currently at the moment is testing at Daytona, along with a lot of big notable names like Mitchell Stapleton, Jade Avedissian's at this test, I think Laney Bice at the test, Taylor Reimer's at the test currently at the moment, and many other notable names are at this test currently at the moment, as I believe almost 80 drivers are currently testing at Daytona. Now, Cleetus McFarland last year did confirm that he was expected to return to racing in the 2026 year. Obviously, there has been a lot of rumors and speculation that Cleetus could make a start or two in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series in 2026 as one of the drivers in the All-Star truck for calling. Not sure if that is going to be a thing that's kind of complicated now, considering the fact that he is driving a Ford for Rette Jones Racing. But the big question is, we do know two of the races that he does plan to run. That is, of course, Daytona and Talladega. So what other races will Cleetus run in 2026? I would have to imagine Bristol Motor Speedway will be back on his calendar next year. Bristol is a race that Cleetus ran in 2025. He actually had some decent speed, but I think he had some mechanical issues and mechanical gremlins, including, I think, having a flat tire. But near the end of the race, he had top 10 speed and was getting faster and a lot stronger as well near the end of that event. So I think that Cleetus will probably show more speed the second time around. Another race that I have to imagine that Cleetus McFarland is going to run in 2026, he's probably going to run at Charlotte. He ran at Charlotte in 2025. He did unfortunately have a major mistake on one of the restarts where he was up front, actually on the front row, because for some reason Greg Zebedelli and the Rette Jones Racing team decided to stay out in that situation. It really didn't work out for the team and program, and unfortunately ended up causing a pretty big crash and a pretty big incident. Not all on Cleetus, I think it's on the crew chief and the organization, but still Cleetus McFarland did have a big restart wreck. Despite that, got damaged, but it did finish in the top 10 and did show some good pace and speed in that event. So I would imagine Charlotte is one of the races that he is going to end up running. And my best guess is, and I'll throw out a little bit of bold prediction, I could see him running the race at Lime Rock, to be honest. That Lime Rock Park race is going to be a really big deal, so I wouldn't be surprised if he does a road course race, because ARCA's not going to be doing the San Diego event. There is a road course race on the calendar of Lime Rock that's, of course, getting moved up to Friday afternoon. Maybe Cleetus decides to do that race. I think that would be very interesting and really fun. Or maybe do something different, like go to Berlin, for example, or go to DuQuoin, do a dirt race. I think that would certainly be very, very interesting. But as was mentioned, as he spoke, and shout out to Joseph Strigley for that, obviously, of course, he has a goal to run the Daytona 500. Because I think he said in an interview with Kevin Harvick last year, I'm pretty sure that his goal was to run the Daytona 500 by 2027. I do think that is extremely ambitious at this point. Now, if he does end up going to the college stuff in the future, maybe that could be something possible for like 2028, because we know that Dodge is expected to be in Cup in the 2028 year in the not-so-distant future. But I do think Cleetus McFarland, absolutely, without question, he could go to Cup by 2028 or 29 if they want to go for that goal. I just think it's so cool to see that Cleetus wants to continue racing, because there were some questions about that going into this year, and it's just exciting to see that Cleetus will be back with the Rette Jones Racing team this year. Because Cleetus, you look at the viewership that he brought in, especially for the race at Daytona, there were over 1 million people that tuned into that ARCA race at Daytona, and I would imagine that the ARCA race, I think they're televising it on Fox, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong on that, but I would imagine that some of those races that Cleetus McFarland is going to be in, they're probably going to move it to Fox, and I would also expect as well that NASCAR last year, of course, Motorsports on their YouTube channel, they did the onboard cameras, and some of those onboard cameras got huge numbers. I think the Bristol stream got like 50,000 at one point. I think the Talladega one got around 70 to 80,000 viewers, I'm pretty sure, because it was a huge deal to see Cleetus on the racetrack. And not only is Cleetus McFarland, I think, not an awful race car driver, I think he's a pretty good race car driver. I think Cleetus, he brings a lot of personality, and that's one thing I think NASCAR has been missing for a lot of time. Granted, you do see it from time to time by people like Kyle Larson, but really there's not a lot of drivers who bring that personality. Guys like, you don't see that as much as guys like Tony Stewart or Carl Edwards anymore, or even sometimes Jeff Gordon at times, or Dale Sr. or Dale Jr. at points, or even other people in the sport that had personality. You don't see that as much anymore. You have a lot of drivers, like I think there's a few exceptions, like Ross Chastain has good personality, Noah Gragson's got good personality, Ross Chastain, Carson Hocevar, all those guys do bring personality. Even Bubba Wallace also brings personality as well, but you don't see that as much in NASCAR, and that's what Cleetus McFarland brings. One, he's an entertainer, of course, from the YouTube side of things. He's a massive and major entertainer and knows how to be an entertaining individual. So I think that's why this is exciting news to hear that he is going to be back in the ARCA Menard Series in 2026. And I do have a prediction that's going to be coming out in the not-so-distant future, but I don't think this is the only series that Cleetus is going to be running in 2026. I would not be surprised or shocked if Cleetus makes a few starts in NASCAR. If the Kaulig rumors are true, because we know there's a lot of names associated with that Kaulig team right now. There's been rumors of Tony Stewart potentially getting behind the wheel. There's rumors of potentially even Casey King getting behind the wheel. And there's other names that we could potentially see run that Kaulig truck. We could see Ryan Newman behind the wheel. We're not going to see Jimmy Johnson like we thought, because Jimmy's going to be running for Tricon, but we could see a lot of big names. We could see Will Brown. We could see AJ Allmendinger and Ty Dillon, who are going to be driving for Kaulig and Cup, because that Kaulig team is certainly going to be interesting. But I think nonetheless, it's really exciting to see that Cleetus McFarland will be back in the NASCAR series in ARCA. And I think the tribute they've got on the back is absolutely beautiful. They've done an amazing job on that. And I think Cleetus will make the field as well. Rette Jones has shown some good speed, and he did a pretty good job at Daytona for getting caught up in a crash. I just think it's so exciting to see that once again, Cleetus McFarland will be back in the ARCA Menard series in 2026. There's a lot of big names in that series. You're going to have a lot of big individuals competing. Tristan McKee's making some starts this upcoming year. I think they're really the favorite to win the championship. You got to go with the Nitro Motorsports drivers. Of course, you have Thomas Uzieta, who's running full-time. I think he's going to be really strong this year. You got people like Jade Avedissian competing. There's a lot of big names in the series. I think it's really exciting stuff, and I think it's really great, again, though, that Cleetus McFarland will be back in ARCA. I think he'll be fast and certainly competitive in those events in 2026. So, that's for today's special breaking news report on Cleetus McFarland racing in the ARCA Menard Series once again in 2026. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's go below that and comment your thoughts below on today's episode. You think Cleetus McFarland will be competitive in the 2026 ARCA season or not? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and how excited are you to see him back in the series? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Early this morning on the channel, I did my updated 2026 NASCAR Cup Series driver lineup video. Go ahead and check that out. Tomorrow on the channel, since tomorrow, of course, is my birthday, I will be doing my 2027 NASCAR Silly Season predictions, doing updated as the 2027 Silly Season is expected to be wild and crazy this year. Then, of course, on Sunday, I'll have my updated NASCAR predictions, and there will be a Cleetus McFarland prediction coming out in that video, along with other major predictions as well. Monday, there is going to be a NASCAR news video. There's been a lot of news over the last couple days, and also expect another video going out later in the day, as we are going to be expecting to get the championship format for 2026. Got a lot of content coming of people like Haley Deegan, Shaman Gisberg, and Carl Edwards, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain, Sheldon Creed, Sam Mayer, Frankie Muniz, Dodge Ram, Tony Stewart, Casey Kane, Will Brown, Robbie Gordon, Connor Zilch, Junior Motorsports, Daniel Suarez, among other things, Noah Gragson, Rette Jones Racing, Richard Childress, M&M's, FedEx, all the good stuff. Michael Jordan. We'll talk about all this kind of stuff on the channel in the coming days, weeks, well on Brad Sotsky, Ryan Priest, and other stuff. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode. I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content, other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.